Cornerman Radio, Barzini, Boxingeye. All right. I noticed Chavez Jr. calling out Daniel Jacobs at 168. I see Jacobs. I don't really intrigue on Jacobs going to 168. But here's a fight that I would like to see at 168. Peter Quillin says he's moving up to 168. He can't make 160 anymore, and he feels better at 168, stronger. We haven't seen Peter Quillin since the Jacob loss, but him and Chavez Jr. would be a good fight. You know what I mean? Chavez is back active again, and we haven't seen Peter Quillin in almost 2 years. And he's a 168 fighter, as you say now. He's with, what's Andre Ward trainer again name?
Virgil Hunter.
Virgil Hunter. So he got a new trainer now. So I'm pretty interested in Peter Quillin and Chavez Jr., man. 168, this is a good fight, man. At least Daniel Jacobs doesn't have to go to 168, and Peter Quillin is at 168 right now. I don't want to see Chavez against any of the top-tier 168 fighters. He need to fight somebody like Peter Quillin. And let's see the both of them fight each other, man. I think it's a good bout for the both of them. A good comeback bout for Peter Quillin, and to see if Chavez do better at 168. What's your take on it?
I know Kid Chocolate would jump on that fight quick, like a new bike. You'll be all over that, man. 'Cause that's a nice payday, Chavez Jr. You know, say Chavez Jr. comes back, they put it on Showtime. Like you said, both managed by Al Heyman. I think the one guy that'll be cheesing the most is Kid Chocolate, because he can be like, damn, I could rejuvenate my career. Say I get a knockout. Say I can knock. Well, actually, highly doubt. It's very hard to knock Chavez out. I'm sorry, it is. And Kid Chocolate, he's moving up from 160. But hey, who knows, man? Maybe he could. Maybe he could. And you know, that'll be a nice feather in his cap. Like, yo, I knocked Chavez out. Canelo couldn't, and boom, he could go from there at 168. You know, but Chavez is dangerous. I could see that fight all of a sudden. I could see Chavez also, you know, rejuvenated himself. And, you know, he obviously he's going to feel better at 168, stronger at 168. You know, he really got killed making the 164 and a half weight. You know, he did that because he won. When he made the weight, that was a big win for him, because he didn't have to pay no fine. He got to keep all his millions. So he was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? That was his number one win, right? You know, win, lose, or draw in the Canelo fight. As long as he made weight, he was getting paid all that money. So it is what it is. But I could see, you know, if they made that, I think you're a good matchmaker for that, because Kid Chocolate would love that fight, and I think Chavez Jr. would take that fight in a heartbeat, because Chavez would look at Kid Chocolate like, hey, you know, his chin's a little shaky. We've seen him have a tough fight versus Rosado. You know, seen him get knocked out by Jacobs. Let's
seen
name
him
some
get
other
dropped
Kid
by
Chocolate.
Andy Lee.
Andy Lee, yeah. What other? Because Kid Chocolate's been around for a minute. He's had some, you know, he's looked good in there against, you know, he's looked good in there, but in tough fights, he's had some tough fights. So Chavez is not going to back down from that fight. I think he would take that fight when he's ready for him. And I know Kid Chocolate would be willing to take anything over $1 million for sure. Or
yeah,
even
that's
800,000.
Yeah, well, I don't see Chavez getting no 100,000.
I think that
He's
fight
always
makes, I
getting
mean,
$1 million.
I think that fight makes sense for everybody involved, man.
For real.
You know, people are like, you know, Chavez don't need to retire. Like, everybody's like, he needs to retire. But, yo, he got sucked down, bro. You know what I'm saying? Did Cotto retire after he got sucked down by Pacquiao? I'm not comparing Chavez to Cotto at all, but I'm just saying, like, let him be healthy, and then how does he look at a like you know what I'm saying? Let him be healthy at his right weight, because Chavez was 160 fucking so many years ago. You know, 2010, 11 when he was fighting Sergio, when he was somewhat strong at 160. You know what I mean? So you know that 164 and a half was detrimental. You know what I mean, Canelo would have beat him at 168, but I personally think he would have gave more of a fight. So I think at 168, him and Kid Chocolate is a good-ass fight. That's a fight I don't think, you know what I'm saying? I consider myself a fucking educated, I've been watching boxing for over 2 decades, man. So it's like, you know, in the history, you know, I was brought up by the OGs. So, and when I look at fights, when you give me fights, I just automatically react to them. And I feel like people want to be mad at that fight. Kid Chocolate versus Chavez. I think people would be happy to tune in to Showtime and be looking forward to it on a Saturday.
Word.
You know? And they'd have a story saying, like, look it, let Chavez be at his best, all right? Let's see him one more time. Give him more and more chance. And who's going to be – and it's a crossroads fight. It's a great fight. Like, if Kid Chocolate loses to Chavez, he's done. If Chavez loses to Kid Chocolate, now he's done. You know? And say they make a great fight, fuck it. They could do a rematch. Styles make fights. That's a fight that is a good style matchup. Two guys that can hit, 2 guys that like to bang. You know? Kid Chocolate will probably have to use – Kid Chocolate will probably have to be the boxer in that fight, obviously. Chavez is going to just do what he does every time. But, yeah, man.
I see Kid Chocolate winning this fight.
Did you
But let's.
I meant to ask you. You just created that fight? Did you, or is that something you thought of, or?
Yeah, I thought of it because he asked for Jacobs to come at 168, and I was like, I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? I'd rather see Peter Quillin, because Quillin been talking about he wants to move to 168. So that would be a good bout. Chavez didn't look he looked terrible with Canelo. Jacobs just knocked out Peter Quillin.
But talking to the
Peter Quillin hasn't fought in
Jacobs,
so many years.
But Jacobs would be upset or jealous of Kid Chuck, because he'd be like, yo, come on, man. He'd be like Al Heyman. I'll go up to 168, because Chavez is a money sign. So it's like, you know, Kid Chocolate doesn't really, if you ask me who deserves that fight, Danny Jacobs